The NFT scene is really interesting to watch evolve, grow from those profile pictures, those PFPs, into other industries. And the music industry is one that is really interesting to watch. And the platforms and protocols that are building out to evolve this space are doing some really cool and innovative stuff. I have the team from SoundRig join me on this episode to talk about their platform, which is building from a grassroots level a new revenue stream and way that artists can get out there, create something new for their fan base and engage with them directly there, creating that new piece of content and selling it to their audience to create that revenue for them. This way they have a little bit of revenue where they can go out and create better and more beautiful pieces of music. So I absolutely love this one, and it's really interesting to see where this one will go. Now, they do have a catalyst proposal for this one. So if you're interested in voting for this one in Fund 9, you can go ahead, read over their proposals, work out exactly what they're trying to do, and give them a vote and support their project. All right, let's get into this interview. I have the team from SoundRig joining me on this episode to talk about their project. They're building something really novel. I really like it. I've played around with the demo as well, and I have Tim, Paul, and Sunny joining me on this episode to talk all about the platform. All right, so let's get a little bit of a background in regards to how you guys got into the crypto space as well. We'll keep it short. So Tim, would you like to start and talk about how you got into crypto space and how you found Cardano?
Yeah, I actually started with NFTs actually, and kind of started the hidden order and kind of got involved deeply in NFTs and had a fun experience kind of learning about the NFT scene, and then I just got really connected with the community and then got really involved and started being part of a Twitter Spaces community, and I just fell in love with the community and just kept growing with it. So yeah, I'll toss it over to you, Sonny.
Mine was. Basically, I tried to create a project from a book I'd written, a children's book in 2015, and I wanted to make it like a series of them and like a community-led NFT approach so that the community would contribute to the next stories. And that's how, anyway, the point is a very steep learning curve. It can fell flat on its face, but I learned a lot through that. And actually through that, I managed to meet Patrick Tobler at NMaker, and I got a job there as a copywriter. So that's how I managed to get into NFTs and stay into the crypto space, and especially the Cardano community, which is amazing, obviously. So here we are. And
you, Paul, what's your introduction to the ecosystem?
I started researching crypto basically at the market crash in 2020. I was just looking for some place to put my money other than traditional markets. I just didn't trust it anymore. And found Cardano through research. I just really liked the mission and everything like that and the approach that they were taking to building blockchain. And I was a lurker pretty much on Twitter for a while, just like researching different projects and stuff like that. And at the same time, started getting into web development as well. I was in the music industry prior, and I wanted to change careers into something that was a little more stable and kept me at home. And just through research and learning and applying both of those skills, I applied for a job at Leaf Agency and got lined up with them, and they wanted me to get involved with this project because of my involvement in the music industry before. And here I am.
So this is pretty interesting. So I have seen Leaf Agency around as well, and you guys work very closely with NFT Maker. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of crossovers. The ex-co-founder is now the CEO of NMaker, and I started at NMaker as a copywriter, and now I'm Global Partnerships Manager at Leaf. So we work very closely with each other, of course, and essentially the partnership was like, they were obviously, NMaker made incredible products for the infrastructure of NFTs on Cardano, and then the projects that were coming to build on there, Leaf were taking the front end aspect of that and helping. I think they did Aid the Ninjas, and I don't want to get it wrong, but before I got there, they'd done loads and loads of projects, and helping these NFT projects get their web space done and get everything built out ready for their launches and stuff.
Very cool. It's good to know a little bit of that background as well. And now with SoundRig and this project that you guys have teamed up to build, can we get a little bit of an overview of what SoundRig is and what you're trying to build?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a short backstory. The original idea came from myself in 2011. And back then, I knew about Bitcoin, but obviously blockchain and Web3, as we know it today, did not exist. But I come from a town called Bedford, it's just 45 minutes outside of London in the UK. And it's full of loads of talented musicians, like from all kinds of music genres, but mainly like UK hip hop and stuff. And a lot of my friends were musicians, and they just weren't getting anywhere, even though they were like trying really hard and paying out of their pocket to get music videos made and stuff. And I remember in 2011 thinking like, there's got to be another way. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized how broken or how maybe fixed the record label business is. And like, if you go down the line, you notice that basically all of them are owned by like maybe 4 major labels. Yeah. And then, artists' careers get stifled, or they get bought out and then they get shelved, or, one person might be really talented, but the other person more marketable, and they'll go for the other person just because they'll make more money. So I was like, so we came up with the idea for SoundRig, a friend of mine and I, but obviously the technology didn't exist. There was no blockchain, there was no NFTs for the product. So, but that's what my ideas were. So anyway, I kept it on the back burner for a long time, for 11 years exactly. And then when I did my the book NFT, and it kind of fell on its face. And then, like I said, I was working for NMaker, and then it just dawned on me when we were working on a different project that actually this is my idea, but it was for music. We were going to do it for fine art. We still are going to do it for fine art, by the way, so watch that space. But so the idea is that we wanted to sell music in a whole new experience. But at the same time, we wanted to give the artists a whole new platform where they didn't have to rely on a record label, where they would earn the lion's share of all revenue, where they'll be able to market themselves in a whole new way. And like when the blockchain came, we realized that this is the distribution method or network, and the product, which is NFTs, but we don't want to call them NFTs because that's just actually the underlying technology, right? So we've called them tunes, as in TUN3Z, the 3 meaning Web3. So people are going to be able to, artists will create these tunes and then sell them directly to their potential fans, new fans. And obviously, if it's for independent, upcoming, undiscovered talent, then people might not know who these people are, but they might love their sound. And then, so through SoundRig, they can actually hear the sounds. And we've also allowed the artists to put on all of their platforms wherever they are. So we don't care about them making money anywhere else. We're in fact supporting them. So you can have the iTunes link in there, the SoundCloud, their Spotify, their YouTube. Everything is available on their profile on SoundRig. But then if you want exclusive content, you have to get their tunes, which is only available through SoundRig. So the idea is that music is available everywhere, but there's exclusive content on these tunes. And that is, if you, like you said, you've played around with the player, on the demo wallet, you might have noticed something called a test track. What we've done is we've encrypted the files before they even uploaded to IFPS. IFPS? Yeah, IPFS, yeah. Sorry. And then, so the idea is that the content of the tunes are only you can only play them on SoundRig. And we're not saying that we want to make sure that people only go to SoundRig. No, you can buy their music anywhere and everywhere that they are. But if you really love this artist, you might want to find something exclusive, and you can only get it through SoundRig. So the best analogy I can give you is those old DVDs that when you used to get the disc, you'd get the feature film, and you'd get extra content, bonus content that was only available on that disc, right? So if you're a fan of a certain actor or movie, you get behind-the-scenes footage, you get a day in the life of, you get them, I don't know, walking their dog, whatever. But if you really love this artist, you want to find out everything about them. And if there's only content available in the tunes, then you will invest. It's as simple as that. And the idea is, on top of that, so when you get one level deeper is, if these are new artists and people love their sound and they get famous through SoundRig or they blow up, their NFTs are obviously going to go up in value as well. So they're in charge of everything. We don't charge a single penny for them to come onto SoundRig. We educate them, so we're getting lots of Web 2 as well as Web 3 artists. And the idea is we want to onboard, and this is the mission of Cardano anyway, we want to onboard new people from all communities from all over the world onto Cardano and into Web 3. So we're going to do it through the love of music. And so the idea is that Web 2 artists will come and they'll bring their fans. And then if we get this all happening all over the world, you get this network effect where fans of different artists will come to SoundRig and discover new artists that they might never have heard of, and then be able to hear their music first. Can also support them by buying their iTunes or something. But if they want the exclusive content, they buy their SoundRig tunes. And that's how we're going to go. So we're coming from the ground up, like proper grassroots movement level, and blow it up from there, basically.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I was a bit long-winded, but I hope you get the...
No, it's good. It covers a lot, but it did cover a lot, but it does also opens up a whole bunch of questions for me as well.
Please.
I don't know where to start with these questions, but first off, because the platform is it's basically, from my point of view, from what you explained, is an exclusive content platform for these upcoming artists where they can potentially sell unique content on your platform itself. So I'm just finding a little bit of a friction here from a point of view from a user that's listening to music of artists. It feels like for me, I have to use another platform now. So, I'm so ingrained in Spotify. It's for me, listening to music anywhere else is kind of hard. I do listen to music on YouTube just because I'm there on the platform as well. But now having to move me over to another platform just to get exclusive content, that extra bonus DVD content. We're showing our age here, by the way. But that extra bonus content from the artists, it's for me, it's kind of like a hard move over there. I know like a lot of people like in the Cardano space already into NFTs or into tunes would be interested in it, but like I find it very hard to move people onto a new platform, and essentially almost feels like another social media platform specifically for artists, music artists, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point because everyone's just so ingrained in what they're listening to using right now, especially Web 2, and the amount of music available there, right, is just huge.
Yeah,
but
you can go on SoundCloud and you're like endless hours of music and DJ artists like uploading there. Because the network's so big, people use it. Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, yeah, so but what we want to do is we want to make it like for the listeners especially, like they know that they can go to SoundCloud, and like I said, if the artist that they've discovered on SoundRig is also on SoundCloud or Spotify, they can click on their link and go and listen to their music, like as they do because they've got a subscription. But the point is to help the artist build up their portfolio of work, build up their, I suppose, just their brand in a way. And the idea is, so these people don't normally have a shot at going big in any other platform, and they have to get signed by a record label or they have to go viral or something like that, right? So there's like different elements of SoundRig that are very important all at the same time. So one is we want to onboard new people into Web3, educate the next generation, the upcoming people in school. They don't, I mean, when people hear Web3 now, because of all the scam, all the stuff that's happened in the past and up to recently, especially with like Luna and everything, it's just made everyone scared stiff, right? So if we use the medium of music and the arts and creativity to onboard new people onto the networks, then that's got to be a good thing, right? Because they're discovering decentralization and discovering the network and everything that all the benefits that come with blockchain. On the flip side of that, you've got the artists themselves who are probably struggling. They can't like make music, which is their passion for their life, and they have to work 2 or 3 jobs maybe just to be able to support their music career. So what we wanted to do is give them a new revenue stream so that they can create this music and the content and then sell them as NFTs or as tunes, and then they get the lion's share. So, I mean, nowhere, I've never heard of any artist getting more than 50% if they're signed by label or anything like that. With SoundRig, they get up to 80% of the revenue. And as you know, the way NFTs and blockchain works is immediate. It's straight away. There's no waiting for anyone. There's no need to get an advance from your record label A&R or anything like that. It's just straight off the bat, and we help with everything and onboarding, education, the stuff that works.
Okay. All right. That I can see a big benefit in, like from a point of view of a music artist, like you were saying, being able to get and tap into your revenue source to help you create and move on to your next project is really important. Like I heard an interview I did with another music platform. They were talking about the artists on Spotify don't get paid until they reach like some stupid amount of like listens on the platform. And then even then, they only get like a few cents for every
It's
play.
ridiculous. It's like 0.0
fractions of a penny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can anyone live off that?
Exactly. And especially if they're trying to come through and be upcoming, they can't. But if they sell one tune with us, they would have made more with one as a sale than they would have all their streaming and stuff. And again, it's like it's a whole new world as well. So we bring a new product to the market with the new platform as well. So you might say, yeah, I'm used to SoundCloud or Spotify and everything. Or we're saying, well, here's something completely different. And it's a new way to experience the music and discover new artists. And if the listeners really care about the people that they're listening to and supporting, if they come from that perspective rather than I just want to consume music, then it can only be positive. And we're not expecting, I mean, it'd be nice if it would like explode straight away. But like I said, we're coming from a grassroots movement and we're going from the bottom up and growing everyone together. So if it takes some time to do that, then it takes some time, but we want to do it properly. We're kind of bringing the same approach as Charles and the whole IOG team. Like, if you want to do it properly, but take your time and make sure it works, and then go from there.
Okay. All right. You sold me on that point. Now, there's something else you mentioned in that as well, and you said that the player is encrypted, or the music is encrypted, and you need to play it through SoundRig. So it sounds like it's a centralized player that you have to go through. I'm assuming one day you'll be able to have it on your mobile device as well. This is, where I live. So what's the setup with that? Can the player be decentralized so I can play anywhere I want? So be like the good old days when I had Winamp, and again, I'm showing my age, and I can play my files anywhere I want. Like, is that possible? Like, what's your setup behind that?
There's another developer on the project who actually built out the media player, Nan. He's awesome. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the NFT Jam website for the
it's a marketplace.
NFT marketplace. It's an NFT marketplace. He's the same guy behind that, but he's So he built out the media player, and right now, I know there's plans to develop all those other things. It's just right now, as a matter of convenience, it just is just to be able to get like basically an MVP out. It made sense to do things the way they are now. So it's you do have to access all the NFTs through our front end right now. And we're using IPFS, and I think we're also using a S3 for caching, just to make sure that the streams come through in like a reasonable amount of time. So there is a decentralized, and we're also looking at other decentralized storage solutions in the future as those roll out. But right now it is a centralized media player.
Yeah, it was just
that is just temporary.
We wanted to prove that the concept works. So we've been rolling it out like this, and there's a handful of artists that are launching very soon at the end of the month. And they're also actually Web 2 and Web 3. So there's people who have taken the leap of faith into Web 3 and then have created content for their tunes. And then as we roll that, and there's people from Nigeria, people from UK, Spain, Portugal, South America. Like, we're getting people from all over the world interested, but getting the artists to make the content is proving a little bit more tricky, because they're artists and they're going to do things in their own time, right? But the interest has been signed, so you'll see on the website there's 40 artists. Everything is self-funded, by the way, Peter. So like we're going for the Catalyst funding. We've got 4 proposals in there that will help us get to the next stage. and developing this. The end game is obviously, because my vision in 2011 was always to have it as an app. We created it on the first iPhone, and we used Xcode, and we built this MVP, but it was just using my friend's music, and you couldn't buy anything, but the whole store, the way it was set out, is how SoundRig is going to become. The way you see now is only the first iteration. So you're going to go from there. Then we're going to go cross-chain as well. So soon this player, which reads the content, will be able to connect to your MetaMask. So any MP3s or MP4s in your wallets or any of the networks, you'll be able to connect that to SoundRig and then play all your music NFTs and then discover new artists from SoundRig. So the idea is that the play is free for everyone in the world. So wherever you've got your music NFTs, just pop over to SoundRig and play. And then you'll be able to do that on a web app as well. So in that respect, it will be decentralized. And what we're just saying is that you can play all the music through SoundRig and enjoy all your content from all the other music NFT platforms. But if you love these artists and you want the exclusive content, then you buy their tunes. It's simple as that.
Gotcha. Okay. Love the approach with having it cross-chain as well. I do believe cross-chain is the future. You have huge amounts of users on Solana, Ethereum. Why not tap into them and educate them about Cardano as well, of course. But having your platform cross-chain, it just opens you up for more market opportunities, of course. Okay. And you also mentioned just then that you've got 40 or so artists at the moment, and that's really, really good that you have already engaged with the artists. And I've seen on the website a whole list of them as well. I didn't recognize any names, but I could see a big, broad mix of different type of music. Now, how has that onboarding process been in regards to bringing on the artists, bringing on people producing the music for it? You said it's a little bit hard getting them to produce something unique at the moment, but how's that onboarding process going?
Well, this is actually my main job at the moment. I've been the one that's getting the artists on. I went to the people that I originally went to in 2011. One of them was a friend of mine. He's a producer. He's got his own studio in the UK, but he does the music from all over the world. Currently, he's in Jamaica. And he loved the idea back in 2011, but obviously nothing happened. So when I went back to him now, 11 years later, he was just like, dude, you're doing it. It's actually happening. Couldn't believe it. And then so he went and got his artists. So there's like 20 of the artists out of the 40 that have signed up are his. 3 of them that are coming on, and they're all Web 2, by the way. None of them have been involved in crypto or NFTs, anything like that ever before. So we're bringing them on. And then there's also some Web 3 artists. I can't name any names yet. We don't want to put it out there before they got their stuff ready. I'm going to make sure they got their stuff ready. Then we can start marketing them. But there's definitely some Web 3 and Web 2s. Anyway, so the process is a lot of education. So I've been educating Leon on how to do the uploading and how to do the metadata for the NFTs and everything like that. And then he is then going to the artists and teaching them. And in all of this, we've actually created an opportunity for people to help artists and make revenue. So there's people who are already in the music business. For example, Leon, he's a producer, right? We've created this thing called agent managers. And the reason why is because I can't be everywhere in the world. And I don't know anyone, I don't know everyone. I don't know what music, what people are creating in which towns and cities. Like, I can't be everywhere in the world. So in every city, we're going to have agent managers. And the idea is that they will find locally sourced talent in their areas and bring them to SoundRig. And through that, they will do the education and the mentoring and the motivation. That's a big key part of it. Motivating the artists, making sure they get the content done. And then for that, out of the 100%, let's say, 10% goes to the agent manager. Now, one thing is interesting is the Web3 artists, they already know how to do that. So they get 80% of their revenue, right? But the Web2 artists, they're more than happy. One thing we found is to give 10% because they haven't got a clue and they want to be educated. And the idea is that once they get educated and they know what they're doing, they have a choice. Do you want to keep that 10% and do it yourself next time? Or do you want to keep this management? Because a lot of them are used to having managers and stuff like that. So it's just another thing. But instead of them only getting 30% from a record label deal, they're getting 70% of all the revenue. And that's how we want it to work. And the idea is, again, network effect. So these talent scouts, agent managers, they find the talent in their areas, upcoming talent, and they bring them to SoundRig. So we don't have to do the searching. The searching is done by our network of people, basically.
Gotcha. Beautiful. The other thing that you mentioned a little bit earlier as well was that, you had the MVP of the player and everything's all in place there. What about the marketplace for selling the music, like reselling it through collections and whatnot? So I know you guys work closely with NMaker and, of course, the marketplaces and everything around there. I'm assuming you can tap into some resources around the ecosystem and build your music marketplace. How is that going? Like, where in the process with that? Because that's going to be a big revenue stream for yourselves as well as the artists.
Absolutely. So I'm going to let Timothy talk about the marketplace and marketing as we're going to come to it, because we're doing some very interesting things over there. But I just want to... Sorry, go on, Timothy. You might as well go.
Yeah, we'll talk a little about it. So the marketplace, so we're obviously going to have marketplace, and we're going to have the ability to just to sell NFTs through that. We're going to utilize NMaker as well, with our close kind of like ties with them. Main thing with our marketplace is that we're going to be trying to focus on independent artists. It's going to be quite simple. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be much tokenization. It's just simply independent artists. We're just going to load their tunes, and they're just going to just sell it to their audience and their fan groups and all that stuff. And that's the main focus on it. We're going to keep it simple with that. And we're not going to, because there's other projects on there that are just going to focus on streaming and all that stuff, streaming revenue and all that stuff. But we're mostly just focusing on just the media file that's paired with the audio file, or it could just be an audio file itself. That way we provide, because right now we work closely with the Cardano artists already. There's already 2 huge Discord or local communities. Best way to explain it, with the listening room, we got CMT Audio. Those are two ones that we work closely with, and they're just looking for a place just to share their craft. Best way to explain it, with their friends, with their fans, and they're just waiting for us to essentially just to provide the platform for them. And that's kind of, in simple terms, how we're going to be doing it. So that's once it launches, and then pretty much we'll have that space for them just to share their music, but also just to connect with their fans as well through selling their NFTs.
Yeah, so we've just completed phase 1. Thank you, Timothy. We've just completed phase 1. That was to get the MVP out, which we've done. And the next bit is all about the growth stage, right? So it's all dependent on, first of all, funding. So we can do, if we don't get the Catalyst funding for whatever reasons, right, we're obviously going to continue. And then at that point, we're going to have to just use the revenue. Obviously, everything. The plan was always to reinvest everything we get anyway. Like we're not going to pay ourselves anything for the next year or two. We just want to put back into SoundRig. And the idea is, if the tune starts selling, we'll use that revenue to start development on the marketplace, because that is part of phase 2. And then also part of phase 2 is to go cross-chain as well. So there's 2 different elements of that. So there's the marketplace and also the capability to go cross-chain as well. That's both of that. And now we want to use the Catalyst funding, obviously, to get us there quicker. If that happens, then that's amazing. Then what we can do is roll that out and get the artists buying and selling, the artists selling and the fans buying and then reselling. So like I said earlier, if an artist blows up and gets famous, if he chose to have, say, 5,000 NFTs or tunes, of his track and content, now if this guy becomes famous, there's only 5,000 of these available in the world, right? So logic says that will obviously go up in value as well. And then the artist will also get royalties built into it. So they'll get money from reselling of their NFTs afterwards as well. So that's all in the pipeline.
Very cool. I did have a look at your Catalyst proposals too. Very well pieced together ones in the different challenges that you put forward, onboarding artists from Asia, Africa, the cross-chain, because of the cross-chain challenge for the cross-chain player as well, and then building the main player, the application itself in the dApps category. So good luck with the Catalyst
yeah.
funding.
Well, I mean, the competition is crazy, right? And as the funds have gone on, they're competitive. But this time, with the amount of music projects, and they're all amazing, they're all doing crazy, cool stuff. So it's just like we've now jumped into this pool with like all these other people, and obviously the better ones will get it, right? Or whoever believes that the projects are deserve it will get it. And I want to say good luck to everyone else actually out there, because we're all trying to do the same thing in the sense that we're bringing people into Cardano. We're trying to make it a much better place for music as well. So everyone's going towards the same grand vision in our own unique ways. So I think everyone deserves to get a piece of the pie, but it doesn't work that way, right? So let's see what happens.
Fingers crossed. I'll put all the links to the resources, references, everything that we talked about, the demo player, your website, and also your Catalyst proposals in the show notes for this episode. So anyone that's really interested, I highly encourage that you all check out the website, the MVP that you guys got, and those proposals. And fingers crossed, you guys get the funding. It's pretty cool what you guys are doing, and you definitely have some good connections and partnerships there too.
Amazing. I just want to say, actually, shout out to Quinton, our co-founder. He's done, and Timothy. Them two worked on the proposals, and they did a sterling job, stellar effort on that. So, if we get it, it's all down to these two guys, really.
Awesome. Brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Peter.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Now, there are quite a few projects that are doing this music type of play. If you look on the various Catalyst proposals that are up at the moment, there's over 1,000 of them, and some of them are all in the music industry as well. So I absolutely love what they're trying to do with that new marketplace and revenue stream and everything around it. So we're going to watch this space evolve and see these projects compete and innovate in this space. So fingers crossed, in a year's time, we're going to see some very, very interesting things, maybe even shorter, because this space develops and grows so quickly. Now, if you really enjoyed this type of content and you want to find out more, I have a whole week's worth of Catalyst proposals coming out, not proposals for myself, but videos of proposals that are in Fund 9, and they should get in just before that closing date of voting as well. So if you're interested in learning more about what projects are doing, what projects are pitching within Fund 9 of Project Catalyst, make sure you give me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on that notification bell, and you'll see me in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating.